What's happening? All right. So we're going to give a few minutes to see if anybody comes in. Going to be working on getting all my stuff together so I can figure out where all the parts are because I got parts like crazy for the Scar. But yeah, gonna get rolling. So we've got the Scar done for a Marine veteran, and we're going to be going through and putting all the pieces together. It's interesting because as many times as you do the Scar, it's really hard to keep up with all the screws. There's a lot of screws and there's different sizes and stuff. So um, we're going to work on piece at a time and breaking down each section. So here we go. So we have a PEC 16 that is 3D printed and it's been fitted to work for the Scar because they typically work for like the AR. We have completely disassembled the stock. So let's start with the stock because it is kind of a beast in itself, and it has a lot of little tiny parts and pieces. And we're going to work on getting that back together. And like I said, as many times as I've done this, it's always like, okay, what screw goes where? What spring is that again? I forgot what that is. It's so much. But I spent a lot of time bagging. Got lots and lots of baggies. Put all my bags together like this so that I can see what's going on. But for now, let's start getting pieces out and get this thing ready to go. There's one very difficult part on the stock, and it usually takes quite a bit to get it in, so we'll see. I only have a little bit of time because it's raining, so I'll be picking my daughter up from school, probably at school versus at the stock, which is what we normally do. So if you haven't taken apart the stock, this thing is crazy. Here we have that's his number there, and then we've got the United States Marine Corps on the back. So it's seemingly super simple. You've got your two parts here. You put your top on like this and boom, it's done. Well, I wish it was that easy. So the part that is a bit challenging is the little spring that goes back here, because this little piece has to go inside that little hole, and it has to go in at an angle, and I have yet to find like a perfect way to make it happen. The other piece that's challenging is this has to go way down inside, and it goes down in a specific way because it engages with this. So you have this tiny little piece right here and this little spring that sits on that channel, if that's in focus, and that's what's going to go down inside that hole, which you're barely going to be able to see. So the spring sits in this channel, and the hole that's in there, once it goes in, you'll see it. The spring will push up against it inside there. So once it's in, it's in. And I usually talk about these little black sticks. I love them. So basically this is now, it's springy, which is good. Now the challenge will be getting this to sit down inside where the little hooks are. And we're going to try to get them in there. And it's usually a pain in the ass. So let's see what tool I have handy. I'm gonna basically lay it in with my finger on the other side. I just need to get it in the spot. The biggest challenge is that it's pushing up against that little springy piece, so I wanna get it in the hole first. If I can get it in the hole, it'll be good to go. And I may come back to this one because it really does take quite a bit to get it in there. Yeah, you may come back to this. It just takes a long time to get it to sit right. And ultimately, I just need to get it to sit up against the little curved piece in there. But it is very difficult. So gonna save that for later. We got our spring in there. So we're gonna move on to the next piece. So we've got this little piece right here, the little button, and the spring that holds it in. So this is the part that actually clicks when you move this. This part that clicks it. So we just got to get that back in its spot. And get the piece in there. I'm gonna pop that out. Yeah, this piece, man, I tell you what, I feel like when they made this, somebody was just laughing. Somebody just laughing. Or like, yeah, watch them try to take this apart. They're gonna get it though. So if you do decide to take one of these fully apart with the pin and everything. All right, so we got our pin in. Let's see if we can see it. Comes in like that. That piece sits down in there. It has a little bit of a curve, and that curve curves this way. It sits towards the back there. Then we're gonna put our little spring in. Hopefully, I usually have a pair of needle nose over here, and I think that I left them, so I'm gonna have to run and grab those. So we're gonna get the spring sitting on top. I'm gonna use our little push stick. I'm gonna push that in. Cool, we're in. And just like that, we got this on there now. So the next piece there, see when this goes in, now it's got the click, and that's what we want. So we're good to go there. We've got a pin that goes in through here, like that. And that pin's gonna go in and it's gonna hold it all together. And if you don't have a, like a gun tool, just use a nice thick roll of tape like this, works great. And now we're good. That pin just basically keeps it from coming apart like that. So we're good there. We need to get our pin on for this hinge is going to be going on there like so. Actually, before we do that, let's get this top piece on. So there is there's this little bitty button right here, and this button just fits in. And we literally just have to push it in so that it locks into place. So just like this, snap, it's in, and that's in there. So as long as you don't bend this when you try to take it apart, it'll stay in place, you'll be good to go. Okay, so next, we've got to get so this has a little pin, a little spring, and this little pin has a notch cut in it. If you can see the notch, it's very hard to see. That notch has to be in a position to go on those little notches right there. So we're gonna put it in the hole here. Have to make sure it goes all the way across and it fits in like that. So you wanna get it in and it sits in place like that. You wanna make sure that that notch is cut out. So we go snap this back on, put the back on, put the front on, and that notch will allow it to sit in place. And if you did it right, it'll allow you to go up and down like that. And that's what we want. Cool. We got our little Marines logo on the back. So we're rocking and rolling there. What up? What up? And I thought the 1911 was a pain. Oh, yeah. This is substantially harder than the 1911. Big time, big time, big time. So we're gonna try this rear piece again and see Normally, if I can just get it to sit in place, I'll be all right. There is such a pain in my butt. With a needle nose, sometimes you can get a good angle on it, and I might go grab some so I can get this thing in place. Yeah, I'll grab those and be right back. All right, so I got some fine points. Let's see if this helps me out. Helps my sanity just a little. So we need to get it in. It's got to actually push up against the spring-loaded piece that we put in there. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I wonder, in all seriousness, if they have some sort of, because these, you know, they gotta assemble these things by the thousands. There's gotta be a better way to do this. Some sort of tool. All right, I think I'm in. There we go. All right. Cool. Okay, we're in. Now, this piece right here, it's gonna go down this channel and it's gonna actually keep it from falling out of the back of the piece there. So here we go. And I know I only have, we got 2 people watching. That's all right, because we're saving this video anyway, and it's gonna hopefully help some people down the way. Gonna put this screw in like so. Getting yourself a mini screwdriver set is super important. The this little pin right here, it actually just goes through. Goes all the way through to the other side, and that's it. Doesn't actually serve a purpose, except for, you know, it looks legit like it's supposed to be there. I'm gonna loosen this up here, and then we're gonna put the rubber foot on. There we go. Now we're functional. We're functional. Got a rubber foot. It's gonna snap on like that. And that is the Scar stock. That's the hardest part. The next piece here, let's see, here we go. So the next piece that's gonna go on is here, and it goes on just like this, and it has a pin that goes in, and we're gonna get that pin to go right down inside like that. Again, we're just gonna use our tape gun, pop it in really good like that, and now when you push the button, look on it, there we go, and now we've got our piece there. So that's done. That part is a pain in the butt. Got some other pieces here that I was painting earlier, and I won't be able to finish these today because they're gonna need to cure a little bit before I can distress them the rest of the way. I did them, but then I was like, you know what, I want to add some more detail, so I added the USMC and the Marines number, badge number, so USMC, and we do this one right here. So these pieces are already distressed, but the red isn't. It actually looks kind of like cool like it is, so I might not even need to, but we'll see. We will see, said Stevie Wonder. Okay, there you go. That's the badge number. So of course these are the parts that are gonna go here on the side like this. You can see that. So we'll get those out of the way. Okay, the stand, that's our stand, nice and simple. And a little red accent for that. It's gonna go there like so. All the rest of our accents are gold. So I wanted to add the gold in his in the Marines logo. It's a little gold right there, so I have some accents in gold to kind of bring that out. Your front trunnion piece right here, where your barrel goes, there's this tiny little piece. If you didn't know, it comes out. We're gonna put that back in. It goes in as such, and it has a little tiny rubber washer, which isn't mandatory necessarily, but it does make a nice difference. Let's see if this will go in. Gotta have a really skinny screwdriver to get in there and get this. I do not have the right one. So I'm gonna grab that because I need that to be right back. Actually, that's a flathead. Yep. So I have workstations all over the shop and the tools get shared and as you can imagine, often lost. So there we go. So we just need to get this piece in. So I have this little gold accent right there. And then we'll just get the long skinny piece because we got to get it up inside here. And we're going to screw that in to hold this piece together. Now, it depends on how you paint and how detailed you want to get. You obviously can get away without having to take this part off, but I like it. I like the accent of it, and it does have a little O-ring in there, so that's beneficial too. Cool, so this is gonna go in this way, like that, and then that we can start actually assembling the back piece there. Now in this case, yeah, so that piece is gonna go on like that. And there's like 50-11 screws that go in here. So I have a bag of little tiny screws. I'm gonna start trying to put this piece back together here. One thing that's important to note that you'll probably catch, hopefully, is that in the front of this, that goes on here, there are extra screws, or extra long screws. So I don't know if I can show you this, but there you go. So one screw is longer than the other. The long screw goes all the way to the front because it actually holds your barrel assembly on. And so we're gonna be doing that. So there's just a ton of screws that go in here. So we're gonna get those in. And of course, this kit comes with a little driver, but that driver will driver you mad. Man, my dad jokes are on point today. Okay. If you're trying to do this whole project with that little tiny thing, that's a lot. But if it's the only one you've got, then, you know, rock and roll. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rolling. So there are lots and lots of screws that go in the front section of this, especially. So once you get those first ones on, then we can really get moving. But it's mostly just important that you use the long ones for the front screw hole so that it screws into the barrel and actually holds it in place. And that's what we're talking about, like that, right there. Cool? Okay, so here we go. We're just gonna continue and we'll assemble the rest of this. Actually, this is the better one.